right now, so I'm not sure where he's at. I think what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the Green Terrors, as I'll show you that the other room for a few minutes, and maybe when I come back, the red Dovii male might be coming out. Another thing I forgot, I've had a couple people ask me about this wall hanging I have over here. And it's been up in my various fish rooms for the last 30 years or so. And what it is it's just a rug that I bought at Shed Aquarium in Chicago. I got it at the ACA convention back in the mid-'80s. And we went to Shed, toured the aquarium. Shed's a fantastic public aquarium, by the way. And in the gift shop, they had this really cool, I thought, this really cool runner. And so we bought it, and it's been hanging up in various fish rooms over the years. So that's what that is for those of you that were curious. And still no sign of the guy, so we're going to head over to the other room for a couple minutes. I guess you can take a look at this tank for a few minutes. This was water changing day, so these are some of the green terrors. These are, of course, the original parents are in this tank with a lot of now adult green terrors of various. These are the Peruvian Stalsbergi, of course. There is a female umbie that's in there, as well as a ton of convicts. And there's the big old male who's still doing quite well. So we're going to head off to see the new, well, they're not new, but the green terrors in the other room that were spawned from these guys. And we'll see how many we've got left after all the ones that I had my friend Shannon ship out this last spring and fall, I guess. So right here is, from the side, you can see there are still a ton of green terrors in here, but they are getting lots and lots bigger. This room's a lot darker, so no sun in here either, so it's, maybe if I go this direction, you might get a better view. Yeah, that probably works a little bit better. Anyway, even with the hundreds that, you know, we shipped out and I've sold various things, there are still tons left. Some of them are getting quite large. Most of them are doing really well. There are 5 umbies in here too that are crosses between the Rio Mags and right off the top of my head, I can't remember what the other river system it is, but a gentleman by the name of Mr. Cichlid shipped me some of these for free here in the summer, and they are really spectacular fish. They're shyer than what I'm normally used to as far as umbies, and I don't know if we'll see any, but they're growing fairly well, and there's a couple of them that are just spectacularly colored. They about the only time you could really see them is when it's feeding time, and they come out, you know, in droves. So maybe if I sit down over here, we'll see what comes out. While I'm sitting over here, of course, is the other 600, which is getting less crowded all the time as these old various amphilophuses are passing away one at a time. These fish are all 15 to 20 years old, and they are slowly fading away. And this, of course, is my biggest male Dovii at the time, at right now. And he's not quite as big as my biggest guy was, who passed away a few years ago, but he is getting there, and he's also a very spectacular fish. Anyway, so that's him. So let's sit down here for a couple of minutes and see if anybody comes out. For whatever reason, these fish are really shy, even in a 600-gallon tank, and with all these fish in here, they still tend to be shy. And I think part of the reason is because I've torn the tank apart 2 or 3 times catching these things so we could send them out to various people. I really don't like to do that because it spooks the fish and makes them much less. Oh, there! I think we see an umbie going by. Oh no, that's a Fred. My friend Kevin had a nice Fred that he was growing out. It got too big for him, so he dropped it off a couple days ago. So we now have a Fred in this tank as well. I thought maybe that was an umbie, but I stand corrected. As he swims by, I could see it was a Fred. Anyway, so what you're seeing here primarily are tons and tons of green terrors. Again, they're growing really well. There's a variety of sizes. There's probably 10 or 15 of them that are pushing 7 or 8 inches by now. Maybe even, I mean, some of these guys like those, that one right there, he may be pushing 10 inches. I don't think he's any bigger than 10, but he could easily be in the 9, 10 inch range. And some of these other ones are anywhere from, you got some runts that live up there that are maybe 3 inches. They're the fish that just aren't doing quite as well. Well, they're doing okay, but they're not. And then you've got kind of the normal size ones with their nice full bellies that are probably 4 inches to 5 inches. And then you've got the exceptions, which are mostly males, but there are a few females that way too, that are anywhere from 6 to 8, again, maybe 9 inches at this point. They're getting a little too big to ship, but they may spawn again in here. We'll see. And I was hoping that maybe one of these gorgeous umbies would come by, but so far no luck. I think up in the upper right-hand corner here, you might see, that is an umbie there, just hiding by that. That's a female, I believe, and it does not have the coloration that the males have. But there is one of the umbies coming by. Again, it's a cross between the real mags and I just can't remember off the top of my head what the other river system was. I do think that when they come from a couple different systems, it's great to make big, hardy, colorful fish. Just like with crossing Costa Rican and Nicaraguan Dovies, I think you get a better, broader gene pool, kind of like with dogs and cats. Mutts oftentimes are the strongest, hardiest fish, or animals, whatever. And it's the same thing with fish. They tend to do well when you can take a couple of geographic variants and cross them, or just interbreed them. We're not really crossing them because they're the same species, but they are geographic variants. So they've got a little bit different gene pools. And that is a female umbie right there. No sign of the males, at least at this point. The biggest male usually lives in this cave up here, and about the only time I see him dart out is when it's time for feeding. So that's kind of the latest and greatest on these, and I guess we're going to go back in the other room and see if that darn male red Dovii will come out. It was kind of the point of the video, was you guys could see him swimming around, but he didn't want to cooperate. That's just kind of how it goes. So let's head back in there. All right. Take a look at my convict tank as we're going by. This is just a little one. 80 gallons or so. It's got all kinds of different color variants of the convicts in there and what have you. They're spawning and doing quite well. Excuse me. All right, let's head back in here. Give it one last chance. It's getting a little close to dinner time, so these guys are all crowding around when I come in here. They all want their snacks. And the same thing goes for these majestic beasts in here. Yes, Biscuit, I hear you. There's my good buddy Biscuit. He's probably saying hi to Jude. All right, we'll see if we can't find him one more time, but just doesn't look like it's going to happen, guys. But that other male, is you can really see the blues and greens on him. Again, I don't think he's going to change colors anymore. I'd really be kind of disappointed if he did, because he is just a terrific looking fish. And there's the female up there. So I guess I'm going to have to disappoint you. He just isn't coming out. If by any chance later on today I happen to see him anywhere and he comes out when we're feeding or something, I'll keep my phone handy and maybe we'll do a small a small 1 minute or so of him swimming around if I can see him at that point. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. Take care.